8 minutes past the hour of 6 on July 23rd, 2013. It's a Florida Water Commissioners meeting. It's now in session. First order of business is to accept the minutes of 7/9/2013. I noticed a few things here on it that should be changed. Did you find anything?
I don't see it.
Stewie?
On page 2, third paragraph, about halfway down, Mr. Sikora's name, that should be Mr. Hubbard. May not go on water breaks or work overtime because of the liability and safety concerns.
Why can't we use him still on that water rates?
Because that's what he was hired for.
Well, I mean, he was hired as a seasonal operator. I mean, a seasonal worker.
Cut grass, paint the hydrants, wash trucks.
Whatever we need him for.
Well, it should be like that, but
I mean, I have no problem. I mean, I don't say he's working for us. I don't understand why, whatever we need him, if he's needed at a water break or needed emptying Laura's rubbish or sweeping the driveway. I mean, he was hired to work where we need him.
I think it has a lot to do with,
Liability.
well, liability and also,
But I mean, he's covered him because he's working for us, correct?
yeah, I don't know if he's covered for fixing water breaks.
I mean, if we, I mean, we used it before. I mean, he drove the dump truck, jump down Hook Rock, correct, John?
Is he, he's not union, is he?
No.
Laura, do you have any input on this?
No.
I think it's because he's not union, he can't.
I mean, I just don't think we should stipulate, I mean, wherever he's needed, if John needs him, or Glenn, or, you know, wherever he's needed, use him.
Well, the personnel board reviewed everything, and they found that, you know, he shouldn't be, he should only be doing, you know, hydrants and cutting grass, cleaning up trucks and stuff. So,
I mean, like in the seasonal plan, I mean, it wasn't, there was no stipulation in the item for that. Correct?
you want to go downtown and talk to them down there about it?
Yeah, it's
Because it might, you know, might make sense for you to
I mean,
talk to.
it just, wherever he's needed that day, I mean, regardless, one day he's mowing grass, one day he's painting hydrants, wherever we need him. We hire him as a seasonal
I
worker
see
to
your
do what we
point.
need.
I see your point, but for some reason they specify that he's not out there on repair jobs. Do we have a copy of his job description right here, Andy?
I can go get one.
Yeah.
The $80 an hour guy sitting on top of the fence looking down at the guys that are doing the work. I mean, you know, we would well have another $80 guy to go down the hole. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but they kind of flagged that as an issue, so. This doesn't seem like it's appropriate in here anyway. This thing about Stu said that Sikora may not go on water breaks or work overtime. That seems like it should go someplace else, John. You want to check the tape on that, John? Make sure that, because that might not even be a,
I did not say that about Mr.
I don't
Sikora's.
even know if that was even brought up there, so just check that out. The other thing I noticed,
Said about,
Here it says performs other related tasks as required, comply to completely perform duties listed above. I mean, it doesn't say that. You know what I mean?
let's go down and then talk with either Debbie or Amy and find out, you know, if with this job description could cover him under.
I mean, I just don't see anything on the job description myself that he can't. You hire an extra hand, that's what we need, is an extra hand.
No, that's a good point, Roy. I don't know, I couldn't understand it myself, I just said, okay.
No ways on it that I see that he couldn't. They're just reading something else into it.
Well, one thing you might consider too is just revising this temporary position
As
altogether.
possible.
And I'm not sure if, we can do that.
Maybe
This
not
year-
this time, but for next year.
If for next year, we look at the budget, maybe we can say, okay, we put a type of personnel board, and maybe make some adjustments. Maybe we can move this on or something.
This is, I mean, middle of the day, we get a water break, we need all hands on board, the way I look at it.
Yeah. Well, can you go down there and clarify that for the next meeting? Okay. On the first page, it says, maintenance fund, Stu and Mr. Hargraves can be paid out of the water treatment plant. We should, I think I said non-SRF funding, so that should be in there. So why don't we just, that's the two things I picked up. Maybe you can check into that, John, and then, make sure this revision gets, in there. We'll look at it next meeting.
Where was that, where does it say in the second paragraph, to be paid out of the water treatment plant construction, out of the borrowing funds, SRF? You want to say non-SRF funds, is that,
Right, there's
Okay.
two funds, there's the SRF,
out of the
Borrowing.
borrowing funds, comma, SRF, so you want to say,
it's not the SRF.
okay,
Non-SRF funds.
okay.
Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda for next meeting, as with the minutes of this meeting. Purchase orders,
So we're not gonna accept them, we're gonna wait till next week.
yeah, he's gonna look into it and see what the, just check.
No, I just writing on my thing here, we're gonna put
If it was like a typo or something, I'd say,
Yep.
let's just approve it additionally. Correct the typo, but there's some problems with that. All right, we got a PO here for Hatch Lab Supply. So, I guess what I'm looking at here is this purchase order is filled out, but it says authorized by. Oh, good question. So, I want to make sure we're doing this right, so we got a requisition by John Rudd. It's authorized by, is that supposed to be the board? Because we do the check forms. I'm thinking, maybe it should be authorized by you, John. What do you think?
He's got his name already on it, right?
Well, it might have been requisitioned by Rob, or, which is an R there, you know. Kind of, it should be a little bit more formal. I like the way it's all filled out this time.
One of these ones.
So if it's requisitioned by, I would say Rob or Paul or somebody, that's what they should put it, you know, that they ordered it up, because they got it approved by you, and you authorized it, okay? So in the future, if you could do that.
What's this blue book thing, John? Keep getting all of it.
That's where we order some of the testing.
It just seems like, you know, every month or so they're on, we got something blue book.
They sell, reagents.
Well, the conductivity
Testing
probe,
reagent, Conductivity,
What's this for, John?
fluorine. It's a conductivity test of its pH buffer solution, recalibrate the benchtop pH system. Compares it against the plant.
Do you have to ship in? What, cat?
No tax.
Yeah, what is that? $20 an hour.
Do they charge us yet? Oh, they do.
Is that for shipping, Laura?
Yeah, it is.
Let me do this. I'll pass it to you, John. You
Okay.
explain it, and then you give it, you authorize it, and you give it to Stu. And then we roll them down this way.
Okay. What's the contact technique for test? These are the fire extinguishers.
There's another Napa bill, Stu.
Building, that's the code. Yeah, that was the touch screen. Big, so.
Oh, you already, where is that? John?
Yes.
You're right.
Oh, I did. Good.
I'm number 4 now. I've dropped down a spot.
Messing up my own system.
Kind of no margin sign, just $17.
That's the one that's Station 2. They put them all up there, always a path and trying to keep.
These are the pictures on there.
The stations.
Yeah.
Look like that. Size.
Yeah, it's got me nice.
You're gonna stay on one.
I like this bill, $3.99.
There you go.
Yeah, for years. It's good much.
What, that? $3.99.
I think 10 minutes with the thing on the road. Done with it.
I'm surprised they have that happen.
Not that it's the universal. Maybe it's,
Okay. So that's the purchase orders. Deposition of public property. This is something we've been trying to do for a while.
I think we should do this a bit myself, that's what I do. Advertise it, town common,
Yep.
and people send in a sealed bid, so many days, whatever, send it in, go from there. List out, you know, for 99, I believe, 99, F-350.
Well, did you find out the estimated value? We don't want to talk about it too much yet, but did you find out the estimated value?
If we go, let's see how big we need a minimum on that.
Right.
We'll put a minimum of 500 on this.
Well, the
I mean,
minimum,
it ain't gonna be worth much, I ain't gonna go with it.
well, the minimum would be, what the tow truck guy would come over and pick it up, bring it to a scrap yard, what he paid it for on the street.
Even we get
So you
over
can call
500,
three.
that would be doing good.
You can call 3 of those guys down there,
Yeah,
pick up the minimum.
yeah, I did find the board on it.
It's okay, you can, that's
So
the
the gas tank straps are gone,
Probably should.
rusted out underneath.
Huh?
See if they're gonna bid.
We'll put a minimum bid on it. We don't wanna give it away for $100.
Oh,
I think we should put a minimum of
That's a good
$500.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's about
I
it.
mean, the thing is what,
How much?
500. I mean, it's 10, 14 years old.
So do I have a motion to put it up for, did you check to see if that's one of the options that's,
no. Yeah, it's on the front page.
okay.
Those
So
are-
sealed bids, auction, or yard sale?
Right.
I think you're better off with the sealed bid for some reason, it's gonna be in the paper, people see it. You're gonna get more people, you ain't gonna get a lot of people to show up for an auction during the day, or a yard sale, I mean, you know.
You're absolutely right.
We put off a sealed bid and put a minimum bid of $500. I think.
All right, so that sounds like a motion to me.
I think 750 is cheap enough, I mean, just the parts. Is that the one with no brakes?
The gas tank was falling off.
The gas
I
tank phone,
understand
and
that.
the ground,
Toolbox,
For
we took the plow and the plow
No brakes,
frame off.
the rear end, the engine, parts.
You might be right, maybe 750, is it?
I would-
I
I just bought one for 1,500, it's 10 years newer, and it's a plow and everything on it.
Why do you say 750?
Why do I say 750? You go to a scrapyard, try to buy a used engine, or the rear end, or parts. That's why I say it's easy to,
You put 5 on it, so some bids are gonna come in for 6, 7, 8, you know, whatever.
Let's do this.
Rusty right
Let's
out.
try this. You know, if you guys got good points. Call up a scrappy, find out what they pay for a truck like that with a toolbox body on the back of it and that stuff.
That's a problem, the toolbox, what it's right out, all the crossroads are
I
gone.
know, but a guy could weld something like that.
I mean, you can take your own junk car in a scrapyard and give you a couple $100 for it. It's a little messy, just wanted it for the weight.
This thing is all weight. What's it, an F-250
I think-
or an F-350?
350.
Oh, no, that's a three.
Is that a dual wheel?
No,
Same.
Same as the 250, just an extra leaf in the spring. I think that's a very good idea. We'll be kind enough to call up a couple of scrap yards, see what it's worth.
Maybe add,
And
maybe
you
50,
don't wanna,
add $50 to it so we don't have to weed through all the scrappies.
well, you don't, hopefully you don't have to sell it for what they'll give you.
Right, so just
Just buy it on a private treaty, but pay a little more.
find out what the highest price is and then add $50 to it. And put that in, advertise it. Do we have money in the budget to advertise, Laura?
I believe Debbie will organize this for us. Sure. We need to pay for an ad in the town common or something. Once you set the prices, we'll send Debbie an email and she'll tell us what to do next.
Okay. So do I have a motion?
I read it, I would like to discuss the Bridgeport out there. Perhaps we could put that out to bid at one end, save some money, doesn't get used.
Is that something, with the new guy coming that he could use for anything that we do for the water things? I mean, I don't know, I'm not a machinist, so I don't know. What I'm asking, is that something that I do, a primary guy could actually use to save us some money down the road, what I'm asking. I'd really like to wait till he
Just
decided
something.
and ask him.
It's just something we have no use for, we don't
No, but what I'm saying is maybe this guy knows, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
We're not a machine shop, we're a water department.
No, but if he can make something to save us money is what I'm saying.
He's probably not a machinist. I think Jason used it once or twice. didn't he?
I'd like to wait till Monday starts Monday and ask him.
Okay, I agree with that. I'll go on with that.
I mean, I don't know what you.
Right.
It's gonna take us a while to get it advertised anyway, so next
Well,
week.
let's,
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait anyway for the pickup anyway, so.
this truck, you cut, call a couple of scrap yards, put them in a bag. Then we have to go to the administrator. Bid it out the proper way. And at that time, we may have an answer on the mill machine out there, put that in the cement.
Yep.
So when you call up, John, to the Scrappy guys, ask them what they pay for the fellow on Bridgewood.
The bridge, there's nothing wrong with it.
Golf machine shop.
He's not in junk, I mean, it's a working machine.
You get a stack
Yeah,
case
more.
price on it.
No, I'm just saying it's a working machine.
Why not? I
It's
can put a
not
value,
junk.
I can put a value on it.
So I put attached to that, the board vote in February 2008. Just a few years ago, you paid $2,000 for that. So it's a pretty expensive machine.
I mean, it's a working machine, it's not
It's
junk.
working, it's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we should find out from this, new operator if he can use it or something.
But if you don't have a use for it, it's taking up space. You turn it into money if you don't have a use for it.
Can you
Right.
call up on Tucker Lawn too, see if they have anybody that have a need for the town too?
Okay.
Sometimes you'll have to work up some part of an old piece of whatever we got here on the department. That was the intention of getting that, be able to in-house, take care of a small milling project,
Yeah.
get something working.
Yeah, let me research
Yeah.
it.
Might be this right here.
Thanks.
There's a fire department, been invited down here yet, to put things up there.
Yes. Signed up.
Excuse me?
Signed up. But- Oh, you mean the,
No, the fire department,
oh, no.
Evolution.
I haven't yet.
I asked about that one a couple of weeks ago.
That's funny.
Laura, would you be kind enough to
Sure.
send the fire chief a letter? Inviting the department to store it.
So I guess
Do
we have,
things down here.
so we gotta finish up this motion. What other things that, what other things do we have that we don't use on here that we want to get rid of?
The kitchen range. I would like to discuss donating that to the Council on Aging. Why do we need a stove with an oven in it? Somebody wants to heat their lunch up or something in a microwave, we don't need it.
Middle of a snowstorm, the guys want to throw
We
it
don't-
in there, I have no problem with it. It's already paid for, and you're gonna get nothing out of it.
Well, this is a workplace, not a clubhouse.
So John, why don't you weigh in on this? Why do we get the stove? And can you reiterate why we got that?
I think that was basically it.
Paid almost $600 for it.
And you want to give it away.
They're more than,
What's that?
I think what you said about this little some stores closed.
I We don't have a use for it.
We paid $600 and you wanna give it away. What sense does that make?
Council on Aging, somebody does somebody does some good for the town. Yeah, voted $600 and it was avoided. I don't know, understand why you bought it in the first place.
So, whatever you guys want.
Well, I think it's here, and there is a use for it, even though it's not something we should have got, or had approval to get, but it's here now. It's all set up in there.
Was it for good purpose or cooking the deer?
Well, I see your points to it, but it's here. And these guys do deserve a little break when they're snowplowing.
I don't deny them a break room, I understand that, but they don't need a kitchen range.
And then,
They don't need an apartment out there.
no, but, during lunchtime, somebody might like to heat up something,
Small microwave, do the job.
Well, you guys make a motion. What do you want to do with the stove?
I would like to make a motion that we donate it to the Council on Aging, if they would like it. Ask them if they would like it.
Do we have a second? Why don't we look into, let's table it, we'll talk to the Council of Aging and see if there's a real grave need out there for a stove. And then come back to the next meeting. If there's a big need for a stove at the Council on Aging, maybe we can get a second on that. Because I feel, Stewie, that we already have it. It's kind of, it's being used. They still use it out there, the lunch and stuff?
Sure.
Do you use it? John, do you use it?
Once or twice.
So it's not only a necessity for the department, but it's here, and then there is a use for it, but it's not approved to be, something to be, if we put in for something like that, we wouldn't have got approved, but it just showed up here, so, for whatever reason. So let's do that. Let's table it till next meeting and find out if there's a real need for it down the Council of Aging. Look at bringing it up again. That sound fair?
I would just like to say, for this department, it's not an ounce of trust for the townspeople out there on the street, rightfully so, after what's happened. We have to work hard to rebuild the trust. And one of these days, sooner than later, we should discuss these water rates. If we take them both a little, there's no reason we couldn't start with a 5% reduction.
Okay, so we'll table that one, and then, any other items that might go up on the, get rid of block?
That's it.
Huh?
That was it for now.
So we're on this thing and top here with the rules for getting rid of stuff, public property.
Right. Right.
you know, less than 5. Now, if we start adding a bunch of stuff up,
It's each item.
each item, okay.
Yeah.
So we got a motion to sell the bid, the truck for, and with sealed bids. You're gonna get prices with scrap yards. You're gonna add $50 and that'll be the starting price for the opening bid. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, update of primary, secondary operator, and administrative assistant positions. Well, as you all probably have heard, right, we hired Glenn Smith, very lucky to get Glenn to take a primary operator position. With that in mind, we'll be releasing Weston and Sampson's Paul Provost, who's been very, very helpful in our time of need to take the reins as the primary operator. So his last day will be Monday, Wednesday, Monday. And then hopefully there'll be some overlap. So if you talk to Paul, you haven't talked to Paul yet?
No, no.
Okay.
Back.
We have to give them any time, you know, it wasn't the same thing, I would have charged for the truck.
Well, we put him on preliminary alert. that
But
were looking-
we don't have to pay
We
any.
weren't sure whether we were gonna use him for part-time or not, you know, we weren't sure of our exact situation, not until he accepted the position and then made some checks, formally accepted the position full-time, so he's coming in Monday. There is a wage action to be signed. He's a new hire, 40 hours a week. So do I have a motion that I sign this wage action for 26.29 per hour? Roy seconds it, all in favor? Aye.
I'll make the motion. Aye.
So Glenn will be reporting to John. And so any kind of orders or anything like that will come out of John to the operators as usual. And if we have any problems, then we bring it up with John. Okay. That's the primary, we're done with him, so we need a secondary operator. So as I stated at the last meeting, we're gonna have John and Glenn look through the candidates for secondary operator, and then pick a, a candidate there. We're gonna look at maybe doing some interviewing next month.
It makes more sense if we look at work with, you know, some of the qualifications that, I mean,
Last meeting, we agreed to go slow and we
Yeah.
said,
Okay. So there's no rush on that right now. We're gonna be pretty much up to speed with that. Are we gonna be sacrificing anything, John, as far as water breaks and everything like that, not having that third person yet?
Something else.
Okay, so we're gonna proceed in that direction. It'll take at least a month for them to go, kind of go through things, I would assume, so.
yeah, it just makes more sense with the primary, which is gonna be the, basically boss in the whole, somebody that he thinks is qualified. You know, and then I'll go through them, come to the board with, you know, recommendations.
as
You
I
know,
said,
we don't the ones that ain't really qualified and got the experience. Well, that,
As I said 2 or 3 weeks ago, Topsfield Water Department's the same size as Raleigh. They have 2 helpers and 1 superintendent. Why do we need 2 secondary operators? We have to watch our pennies, gentlemen, after all the money that's been wasted around here in the fines and so forth.
Well, maybe I can try to answer that.
Just because it's in the budget, we don't
Well, no, we,
have to spend it. There's been too much to spend it.
we went through this, when we looked through the personnel needs, when we worked up the budget, and we had primary operator, secondary operator, and 2 assistant operators, or secondary operators. They weren't labeled as such.
I was,
So we got rid of one of them. When we eliminated one of those positions, we're going to end up, instead of having 4 people, we're going to have 3 people. Now, it might make sense to have just 2 people and then sub it out, but let's look at how this thing works and see what the input is on the primary.
I would like,
Go ahead.
I would like to see how this works with the primary and the secondary for a while before
Okay.
we rush into another secondary.
well, I think what we should do is wait till Thanksgiving and see how he feels. I mean, he's gonna be our main man in the field and what he needs for help. And let him look at the list and see what we've got for people that apply for it. I mean, it's a month down the road, 6 weeks down the road, whatever. I mean, and then we'll make a decision then.
If you got somebody out on vacation or something, you back over.
I understand that, John, but we have to watch the ratepayers' dollars.
Well, I know, but there's X amount of work you have to get done.
I understand that. But we have to be very conservative.
And we got gate valves that gotta be done, we got all kinds of projects that gotta get done. We can't get done without any help.
Let's
Let's just go easy.
Let's
for
go
a while.
easy, and then get Glenn in here, and then Glenn and Rob and John can work out what the needs are, and then bring it up to us. So, we don't want to get into operational things.
Just don't want to jump into it right away.
I get you. I
You get
agree.
2 more,
We're looking at it.
those 2 gentlemen there, and John, 3 of them, they can fix some of these gate valves.
Yeah, we'll find out. I would think that, Glenn, being a superintendent all these years too, and John as being a superintendent, we're gonna have quite a staff here that let us know and advise us, so let's get him in and then get him comfortable and, knowledgeable about the operation. Let's get some. Okay, now the administrative assistant position, I understand was posted. When was it posted?
The 17th.
17. Okay, so,
Was that 10 days?
Right, so it's till next week before we can, go through the applications. So we'll be working on that next week.
so what I think should happen here now is that John and Laura should go through these candidates that come forward from the personnel downtown and let them look through the candidates. And then if they like somebody, they should bring it up with us and then let them do some interviewing before we see. But it might make sense to have interviews by all of us at one time at a meeting, so I don't know what you guys feel.
Well, I think what we should do is, the last time we made a big mistake, is with one girl, the Cory check didn't come back, so I think the Cory check should be done before we vote on hiring somebody. If we hired somebody and 2 weeks later, we had to let her go. Not even to,
I didn't want to know.
because of the Cory check, correct?
No?
Right.
No, so if these guys can interview somebody and screen them out, because they're gonna be working, this administrative assistant's gonna be working with these guys all the time. So let's get some screening done first before we have to sit down and meet with a lot of them.
I have a question. Do we need an assistant 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week, or 25 hours a week?
probably, Laura would probably tell us 50 or 60.
See, I'm
With the
working about
workload she's
80
got right
hours a
now.
week. There's a lot of work that goes on, we can look at that, Stu. I haven't seen the new job description yet. One that, I don't know if you have a copy or we can get a copy of it.
She definitely needs help, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that, but so Stu's asking whether we need it for 30 hours a week or 40 hours a week. So right now, we're getting some help from Maureen. To the tune of about 20 hours a week, maybe?
10 to 15
10
hours.
to 15 hours. And then she needs to have us some assistance.
Excuse me?
She needs some assistance.
I understand. The question is, how many hours?
You want to think about that and get back to us next
So
week?
I would have to see the job description, I think it's posted and the union negotiated it,
Yeah.
so for a certain amount of hours. which I
So it might
believe
be
is
a-
40.
Might be a 40-hour position.
We can bring it back up again, I'll ask Debbie or John, you can ask Debbie for a copy of it,
Okay.
we can go through it.
It's actually on the jobs website.
The job description?
It is.
Oh, okay, I didn't
Just-
know that.
Just for example, perhaps we could start somebody at 30 hours a week to see how it went or something.
Well, it was a union position, it might be something to do with it, so.
It just bothers me. We have the highest water rates around.
It's not because of the.
We have to do everything in,
Our budget is all the back
We
debt. Back debt, we get nothing to do with it.
you had a lot of people.
So let's just, we'll proceed forward with the administrative assistant. In the meantime, maybe you could do some inquiries in some of these other plants you're talking to and find out, if you've got full-time or monthly billing, how much personnel do they have to get these bills up? And when we went up to Salisbury, it looked like they had 2 or 3 people assisting that job.
Yeah, but when we went up to Salisbury, some of that, the DPW director, so some of that was for the water and some was for the highway, so,
Yeah.
in all fairness,
Yeah, but they still had at least 2, maybe even 3 people. They might have had 1 part-time, I don't know. But maybe check it out, find out what they need, because
Then
the
again,
order
we
of
had
salt
30
up and some supplies for the highway department might be a lot different than all the supplies. We're supply intensive here. We're out watering up stuff all the time.
Then again, they had 3,800 customers and we have about 70, so.
Yeah. And then, they're not monthly billing, Stu. They're not monthly billing either, Stu. You have to remember that. So it's like a moving target. Just
I have
check
another
everything.
question. We're paying $18,000 a year for billing. Why couldn't that be done in-house for less if you had another person in here?
That's a good question. Any ideas on that, Laura?
I think we've looked at this over the years, we've revisited it again, and I can break it out for you. I mean, you would have to get, people here to do it. I definitely can't do it by myself, I can't. I'll be working this weekend.
No.
I'm working,
Yeah.
right now I'm on 12-hour days.
What I was getting at, if we had another person here,
It's still too much, it's too much. I did it in the treasurer's office. I know what it's like. The print bills, we have to pay for paper, we have to buy envelopes, we have to sort it by zip code. It's hours.
So out of that 18, they pay for all the paper, the stamps and all that.
We don't pay
correct?
for
We
it,
don't-
yeah.
We don't do nothing,
No.
we just give them the money monthly or.
So we'll break it out, I'll figure out what a Raymond paper is, and, I don't know if we can save money, I don't know.
just a question. I want to look at every avenue there is. the ratepayers a little money.
Here's another idea, you might call some of these other municipalities up and see if they do their own billing.
Nobody does, I know,
Okay.
I know it. I mean, nobody's doing it.
Is there any,
We can
Any chance we
call
could get-
Salisbury and ask, I mean,
well, is there
I'd
any
be
chance we can get a
surprised.
better price than the 18,000? That seems to be the expense that is necessary, but could we save any
Well,
money on the
postage
18?
is postage, I'll break it all out for you, I think you need to see that. Bulk mailing, what
Okay,
is,
so if it's monthly, let's just do it in our lines right now. What's it cost us on a bill for a letter?
I think it's 29, so I have to go back, I don't have the details
It's
in
prob-
front
it's
of me.
prob- Well, it's probably a stamp, right?
No, it's less, because we're bulk mail.
Okay, bulk mail. Say it's 30 cents. We have like 1,800 times 12 is what? $22,000. 22,000 stamps. Right?
Yeah.
And then 30% of that is what?
66.
What is it?
30% of 22 is 66.
Maybe the outside
So
outfit,
$7,000 in stamps alone.
maybe the outside outfit does much less. It's just a question.
I think when you get
That
into
would be
benefits
worth
too,
looking at.
when you get into employees with benefits, I would have to sit down and really look at it.
Well, say it's like $7,000 to $10,000 just for materials and cost and expenses. So you're talking about $8,000 over the span of a year to send out all that mail. So it sounds to me like we're getting a pretty good deal on it. It's shocking, but what do you think?
No, I mean, just, we just figured out this there, over the 18, just roughly the deal.
Are they the only place that can do it for us, or?
So this, we've looked at as a town,
Yeah.
we can go into, looking at different companies again. We use the same company as the treasurer's office.
Okay.
It's the same outfit, so, I can talk to Karen Summon and we can look again together. See,
There may be a bargain,
you
once,
know.
but I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Maybe you could just check into that. Maybe Karen did some pricing out in the last couple of years, okay, since you left over there, so maybe call up, Topsfield and say, what do you spend on billing, But are they monthly billing over there?
They're semi-annual and they're going quarterly, and they're working their way, everybody's working their way to monthly.
Yeah.
But I think they're going quarterly this fiscal year. They weren't quarterly, so they only had 2 mailings a year.
Well, maybe pick somebody that does monthly billing and see what they, just to give us an idea of what the budgets are for mailing out the bills for the yearly budget. Just to give us an idea, whether it's, come up with their budget amount and the number of customers that they send out bills to, just to give us a gauge on what the question is. Because one of our board has raised a question. I think it merits, some investigation, so the administrative assistant, you're gonna revisit the topic of do we need her for full-time? Okay, and then, maybe, when you call up about some of these other municipalities that have monthly billing, see what their staff is, to handle the business aspect of a water department. Just say that, like Drake has got 3 people. I don't know. What does Topsfield have?
I
But they're gonna be going to quarterly. So it's hard to compare us to Topsfield, that kind of statistic. So can you do that, just make a few phone calls tomorrow?
Just scratching here, I think, probably will fit on the building, maybe about.
Yeah, it might be. All right, the next item is the department reports, software integrated accounting.
So, in your packet is, some information on, what we have today, and we met with the fiscal team, Tim, you, and John.
Yeah.
I met with the fiscal team, a week ago, and they, recommend us looking into the software company, and John and I met with the software company and got a proposal for this, and I would like to talk to you about what reports you want to see, how you want to see them, what we have now.
Okay, so they're giving you a price?
Yes, so that's attached. There's an email that I received this morning at 9:56 with a proposal. Attached.
So this comes with a yearly support contract?
Right.
Do you have a yearly support contract with Peachtree?
No.
So
But you do spend money on,
we'd be using this instead of Peachtree.
so what do we spend on Carroll on a yearly basis?
$3,000. It's about the same, probably.
So we got Peachtree, and that's not really suited for our needs here, because it requires a lot of manipulation of the numbers to make it work for our purpose, because it's not really an estimable program.
So instead of Peachtree, we'd be going with this.
Right, we'll be replacing Peachtree with this one here, it's more user-friendly for municipalities.
So this is very different from Peachtree. This is an integrated accounting package that we could roll out to the whole town. You know, like Munis, you know, some of the bigger towns have one way of accounting for all departments. And this is kind of similar to that versus Peachtree, which is kind of a standalone software, and only the water department uses that. This would have to go to the fiscal team, you know, I was hoping maybe with your permission I could bring this to Debbie. Maybe next week we could run it through the fiscal team. Roughly they have 100 clients, and I attach the client list. And they do a number of water departments. I called a few and people are very happy with them. They're also integrated with our current billing system, so we wouldn't have to buy that modular. So we can continue getting our, you know, CDS billing, Neptune package, and then we would just buy into an accounting package, which would eliminate the Peachtree. And I attached, Tim, you had asked me for the different reports.
Yeah.
And there they are. I'm working right now on June 30th with Sue Bailey. And I attached her accounting, the Peachtree reports, and the CDS reports. You know, I understand that, you know, each individual looks for different information from us. We are truly a very complicated accounting department. We have real assets, we have real depreciation. No other town department is in the boat that I'm in. So, you know, we buy a meter, it goes to an asset. And there's a whole, you'll see in the Peachtree accounting, how we do assets and depreciation. And this particular package, SoftWrite, offers a really nice asset depreciation program that is really user-friendly. We just looked at it for a couple of hours, with that. And, we didn't get into a lot of different things that it's capable of doing. We talked a lot about the different kinds of reports. Do you want to see, what our cash flow is with a percentage? There's nothing in any one of these packages that we have today that will give you that information. What I have to do in my 40 hours is take all this information and make an Excel sheet and create that information for you. We deal with over 300 vendors. I did about 42,000 bills went through here in the last 2 years. I mean, the amount of billing that went through here is huge. Everything has shipping and handling, and it's all different POs and, requisitions. It's just, when I print our history, it's a pretty thick piece of
So
paper.
in other words, you can go to your computer and print out.
So what you see now and what I showed you last week, which is the nicest way, is what Sue Bailey offers you. But what this doesn't give you is what you want to know is, out of the maintenance line, how much money did I spend on gas? Okay, which is what I think, Tim, you were getting at with this sheet, using this sheet here from our budget and running that. I do run this, and I don't want to complicate the situation, but in Peachtree, I have an income statement. And in my income statement, which is, I should remember them, you are looking at small tube supplies, year-to-date, no percentages. I could work on that, getting percentages. But this income statement is not based on revenue, it's based on commitment. So that's one, you're looking at a commitment versus expenses on this one. On this report, you're looking at actual revenue, money that we actually collected, to assets and depreciation, to debt payments. That's another report. They're not the same report, but I think it's information you all want. And then I look at a whole cash flow report, which is money in, money out. And I think, Stu, you were getting at this. This is the whole year. So in July, we took in $167,390.22, and we spent $108. So we had $58,000 in our bank account that month. The next month, we brought in $198. We spent $102. So each month, I'm looking at a cash flow and seeing, where my debt's going to come in, what my indirect costs are going to kick in. I kind of look at the whole year on this report. Is this report good? It doesn't give you percentages. It does not break out every single bill, because this report is 60 pages.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you just said 1 month you took in 102, you
Right, so if you go to
spent
this,
102 and took in 100 what?
we took in 167,000 and we spent 108. You can look, it's attached to your sheet there. But in February, we took in 106 and spent 140. So when we're pumping water right now, we're taking in more money that we will use during the winter months because we won't pump as much water. So it's not like a tax rate. A tax rate is real level funding. You know what you're going to get. You know what your taxes are, and you know you're going to collect it. With us, we got to say, how much are we pumping?
I understand.
So if we pump, less than what I have to pay that month, I have to use other months.
The bill's one whether you're pumping water or not.
Exactly.
However, we tighten the belts a little bit. Why couldn't these rates drop 5%?
I think we're doing that every day. I think you're right. you know, we're looking at everything still. You know, we did the garbage when I start looking at it, you know, I got 9 things right now on my desk that I'm procuring, trying to get better prices. You know, we'll look at the billing next. Everything you want to look at, I'm here to help you. And I think you're right, we probably, you know, can tighten some more.
The biggest problem is the debt thing that we have.
Yeah. it's the-
So our whole maintenance line, you know, we spent, we budgeted 475, and we spent 452. And this was we really didn't buy anything since January. We haven't fixed anything, you know.
Well, that's the problem. I
So-
mean, one way or the other, we either gotta fix them or
Yeah,
maintain them, you know, some ways along the
Well,
line, you
this-
can't give it up completely.
yeah.
So,
That maintenance stuff.
let me see if I can get my arms around this. We have 4 programs, the 3 programs you're dealing with right now. One is from the town account.
Right,
What's that called?
BSMI,
BSMI?
yeah, they're out of Maine.
Then we have Peachtree.
Then we have Peachtree.
Peachtree is not really applicable to our operation or municipality, right?
It's a very difficult, it's not really set up for a municipality. How's that?
Well, it's rather difficult for you to operate this business enterprise out of
Yeah.
Peachtree
Right.
with what, everything else you've got to do. Because you have to take all the Peachtree stuff and you have to put it into another program. It's like a Excel spreadsheet
Right,
that helps you function as a manager
right,
and operate, you know. So when somebody comes in and asks you a question about the town accountant thing there, then you've got to convert it over to that, so you can portray it. So you've got to do everything manually and then go through the figures and make sure that figures add up, right?
right.
So is it more time consuming to go from Peachtree to all these other things you've got to deal with every day?
Yeah.
Right,
Okay. So, we don't want to do this like in September when we already had to deal with Peachtree for the next 3 or 4 months. And then have to convert everything over to this new program. So we essentially have made a decision that Peachtree has got to say goodbye. We got to retire it, right?
yeah,
Okay. So we need to do something to make your life easier, so you can explain it to everybody else, what we're doing, how we're spending the money. We give you a tool that you can actually run this department on without going between different spreadsheets, right?
that's right.
Okay. So we need to do this sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, we got a price of $20,000 on this.
Right, so that's kind of assuming, I guess we'll have to talk with the fiscal team on this, we can read the email.
So it's the,
Is $20,000 a lot for this department to come cough up, to straighten out this thing? It should have been straightened out 10 years ago. Do we have the money?
So this would be a town meeting, I believe Debbie will tell us this is a town meeting vote. No, because this is not in your budget that we presented in, you know, in our budget this year. So this is.
So we can't use the third spreadsheet. Because actually, we're dealing with four accounting programs. You're dealing with the town accounting program. We're dealing with Peachtree, ours, and only ours in the town. Then we're dealing with this other thing that helps you function as a manager, helps this department get through the day, or the week, or the month, or the year. And then we got the other thing is the budget we present to the town people in the meetings. So we got another spreadsheet. So it's actually 4 different sheets we gotta do. We gotta manipulate the numbers or present them so that they're in the right columns for, you know, to be a functional department, you're gonna have to, it's a lot of work to do that, right?
Right, so we had one program that we could set up reports and is integrated with the towns for transparency.
Yeah.
You know, the warrants would just go right over to accounting with a push
Okay.
of a button. You
So-
know, a lot of this stuff will be automated that is right now a manual world.
So it's actually 22,000, but of that, 4,000 is like the annual
Right.
support fee, right? So that, you're gonna need that just to get you guys up to speed, right? So the real question is, we need to do it right away. Does anybody disagree with that?
No, I agree.
And the only problem is money. So,
What is our contract with Peach Street, can you break off?
we already own it.
So that's just like, you know, you have Tax Pro or something at home, it's just a program we bought.
So it's not something we pay for each
You
year?
know, we bought into it.
So would Sue be able to help us with this program, or do we just use their people to come through?
No, so I think it'd be, you know, me and their, you know, the company would help set up the program.
Did they say how fast they could get us up operational with their?
They're a month away from us, you know, it's usually 4 weeks, you know, to do the conversion.
And so they would do the conversion for us?
I'd probably do a lot of it to save, maybe save some money here if I did it. You know, I can set up the vendors, you know, all the POs that you sign have to be set up in there. It has to be matched to an invoice. There is, you know, what we're doing with this is, it's all in the software. So, you know, these POs actually get into the computer. So, and I'm matching them up. I can go back and do a lot of that for them and save some money.
Okay, so,
I'm willing to do it like I told, you know, the fiscal team, whatever it takes.
so we want to make sure we follow procurement with a price like that.
So they're off the state contracts, we already checked on that, this is
Okay.
a state bid. So
But this
we're-
is something that has to go to town meeting?
I have to check, I would want to present this with, you know, the rep next week if I could to the fiscal team and have everybody in the room talk about the water department and, take it from there. And then find out from Debbie.
So what do you need, a vote for us, it's okay if we go down and do that?
Yeah, I do need a permission to do that.
Do we have a motion?
Make the motion.
So the motion's made by Stu that we proceed on this avenue with Sofrite and work out the finances with downtown and to do it as soon as possible because we have to, consider redoing everything, with Peach Street, convert that over.
July 1st.
So we're already into the fiscal year, so we need to be doing this relatively quickly.
That's right.
So that's the motion. And Roy seconds it, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, so I'll bring it to the fiscal team and then keep you up to date on what they want us to do.
Okay. Next item is cell tower lease agreement. What's,
Okay, so that's in your packet there, a little timeline about what's happening with the cell tower.
you want to read this, John? From Laura Hamilton, or do you want to read it, Laura?
That's okay, John.
Maybe since you wrote it, it'd be easier if you had blot it out.
October 21st, 2010, we did a radio pass study, and I have a copy of that if anybody wants to look at it. It's in our little book here.
Yeah,
All right, and I tried to make a copy, but I couldn't get it apart. And this was kind of the roadmap to where we are today, okay? At that time, FCC was recommending a studied frequency of 150 to 174, and this was in 2010. But this year, in FY '13, that frequency is no longer available to us. And FCC has given us a frequency of 217 to 220. And I have attached to you our FCC license. We're already assigned that frequency. So we did a study, we were doing a study using a different frequency to talk from our tanks to our wells. And that frequency is no longer available.
Show the picture to the,
Oh, okay. Can they see that? You want to hold up your picture over there, John, maybe?
okay, so that they did see if the frequency would go through Hunsley Hills.
Right, go direct from
And it couldn't go through Hunsley Hills, so we have to
go around.
modify our plan
Right,
to put a transmitter and receiver on something that would triangulate and get all these facilities that we operate, right?
and that's called a manifold, that's behind the baseball field. In June this year, we, United Telecom Council, who is kind of coordinating the FCC licensing with us, in our Raleigh Light Department, we went out on June 18th and did another study using the new frequency and realized that if we could use the path through the ball field and not over Hunsley Hill, it would be more efficient and it would be more direct. So we're going to go from the tank to the ball field over to Pingree Farm, to the treatment plant. It's the new path that they'd like us to use.
So they came up with potential location
Right,
based on what's available out there, and they recommended that we use that.
right. So we use the Raleigh Light Department, they put it in the bucket. You know,
Yeah.
we were in the bucket truck and we ran the frequencies and it was the better path for us to go to the ball field and then over to the treatment plant versus up and over the hill.
Okay.
So here we are today, and the question at hand is, do we have permission to use the tower that is behind the ball field in the lease agreement to put a device on that so that we can communicate our system? And that's really what happened. A couple of weeks ago, we emailed the town administrator, and
So-
here we are today.
So Laura's looking at, okay, there's a tower there, it's on town property. Right, you follow me?
Right.
Okay, it's on town property. Do we just call them up and say, can we, how much you gonna charge us to put our device on your tower? Or do we have a lease agreement that allows us to put something up there without paying a big fee on it?
Right.
So that's all the question is?
That's the question today.
Okay, so it's either find out in the lease agreement whether we have the right to put up a little device on this tower that can transmit out and take care of all our
Who
needs.
tells us that? Town?
I don't know, we gotta find out downtown who has the church key to this tower thing agreement, okay? So it's either doing it that way, paying a fee to that tower company, or building our own tower, right?
Yeah, because we have to.
We can build our own tower, right?
This is the better way to go.
Yeah, I think so,
This
so.
is, and I'm sure, you know, it's a quick answer, yes or no, and then we can move forward to what, you know, I bring it back to the board and we'll know exactly where we're at.
Okay.
Um,
So, do I have a motion that we send John and Laura downtown to find out what the agreement is with the town? So we can figure out whether we can save some money here with this tower thing?
No. I'll make that motion, but I have to say this, I was a little embarrassed hearing about this on the street instead of coming to the board first.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about it, so you brought it up to me on the street.
Okay, so what can we do in the future to keep us abreast of all these things?
I'm sorry, it was an oversight, I mean, the board was notified originally, you were all part of the emails. I'm sorry, just
It might have been something that was said, Stewie, before you came on board. So you didn't know about it, it might have, this has been in the works for what, 2 or 3 years?
Right.
But sometimes you gotta explain it a couple of different ways, so.
I
you know.
understand, I will try, to make sure I don't have this oversight again.
So, do I have a second on that motion? All in favor? Okay, so,
I'm sorry, who's seconded? I'm sorry.
Roy. So once again, you're doing a very good job, Laura,
Thank you.
trying to save us some money. Maybe you could, maybe we could have a couple of meetings a week, so you can get us abreast of everything.
I'm sorry, I apologize for this one.
There's gonna be times, too, we're gonna be finding out stuff. All right, old business. Response from Weston and Sampson on change orders. We got a letter today from them. John, I think you should read it.
It's from Weston and Sampson to Tim regarding Raleigh water treatment plant change order processing and schedule. Jim, it's to in response to your letter dated June 14th, 2013. Weston and Sampson has met with Raleigh Water Department personnel and requested regarding change orders, time extensions, and 5% construction contingency. We understand the commission is concerned that the contractor's final contract price should exceed the 5% contingency set aside for the project on town meeting appropriation. Further understanding going back to town meeting for additional funding will not be a welcome task. As part of Weston and Sampson's construction administration services for your project, we monitor the project's proposed and actual change orders with change order log and discuss pending contract changes and the monthly construction meeting. This review allows all parties to continually be aware of the approved change orders and any pending change orders and any potential or anticipated change orders. Currently, with the project 63% complete based on time, the project cost growth due to change orders is 0.1% for a total of $8,821. Although there is no guarantee that the change order percentage will not go over 5% or $487,200, we are not aware of any potential or pending issues or disputes that would drive the cost over the 5% contingency margin. We're working hard on this project, partnering with the water department to control the contractors and our costs. Our goal is that when completed, the treated water quality will exceed the town's expectations at a reasonable overall project cost. At our meeting with John Hargraves and John Reza, we discussed your letter and several other issues brought forth at the meeting. The first item was to provide additional information on drinking water construction projects that Weston and Sampson has designed in the past, and to provide bid price and final constructed price. We have attached this information, which shows an average change order percentage for the projects listed of 0.9%. The range from negative 14.4% to 5.5%. This information indicates that many of our projects complete construction within the 5% change order window. We have also included a table that shows several other SRF drinking water projects with a range of change orders from 1% to 22% that was provided to you previously. This information shows the percent change orders for our construction projects are within a similar range of other consulting engineers for similar work. It also shows that SRF has approved change orders beyond the original 5% change window allocation. As as we had previously discussed with you, the SRF program uses a 10% contingency set aside for projects that are under design. Once a project is bid and awarded, the SRF contingency set aside is reduced to a maximum of 5%.
Let me take over for a minute and give you a breakdown. In the unlikely event that this SRF project exceeds 5% contingency set aside, the town would first request the additional funding from the SRF. As long as this is reasonable request that the items are eligible for SRF funding, SRF would likely grant the additional funding. The town would then be required to go back to town meeting for the additional funding. At our meeting, we also discussed the $700,000 construction budget for Weston and Sampson services during construction. Our services through 7/12/13 have totaled about $480,640, which is 69% of our budget. Although our fee percentage is slightly greater than the percentage completed time basis, our monthly fees over the past 2 months have decreased, partly because there have been less shop drawings and requests for information, RFIs, to review. We expect to be on budget through the original contract completion date of 2/21/14, assuming no major changes to the project. However, as you're aware, the contractor is behind schedule and has also been granted 24 days of time extension through change orders. It is likely that we will need additional compensation beyond 2/21/14. Our monthly fees have averaged $30,000 to $35,000. So hypothetically, if the contractor were to complete the project 2 months beyond the original completed date, our additional fees would be about $65,000, which could come out of the 5% contingency set aside for the project. Please be assured that we will keep you informed and work to minimize any overages while still maintaining an adequate level of project oversight for the town's satisfaction. For your project, we review the budget at least monthly and make adjustments where possible to moderate potential additional cost over the contract amount. During the past winter months this year, when construction activity was lighter, we reduced the hours of our resident representative, John Sikora, spent on site as a cost-saving measure for the town. Notably, during the first half of the project, we reviewed roughly 170 shop drawings, submittals, not including revisions. This labor-intensive ramp-up of the beginning of our project is normal and anticipated by our budget. At this point in the contract, the number of remaining shop drawings, submittals, has decreased significantly as most of the contractor's equipment and supplies have been ordered or purchased. Therefore, the effort expended for shop drawings in the future will significantly less than that for the first half of the project. Finally, we would like to comment on the water the commissioners and selectmen's stated concern that the change orders are a result of engineering design errors or omissions. No project and no set of plans and specifications are perfect. That is why it is prudent to plan for unknowns with the contingency allowance that incorporates some of the cost growth. Indeed, that is part of the SRF requires contingency to be carried out on this project like this. Our agreement with the town states that our services shall be performed in a manner consistent with the degree of skill and care ordinarily exercised by practicing design professionals performing similar services to the same locality at the same time and under the same similar circumstances and conditions. Standard of care, quote unquote. We are confident that we will have performed our duties on this project according to the standard of care. At any time that you or the selectmen would like to discuss the facts and circumstances associated with any alleged or perceived design errors or omissions, we would be happy to meet with you. We would, however, ask you to treat any allegations from the contractor with a certain degree of skepticism until we have an opportunity to provide a full background on the item under consideration. We have provided information in this letter indicating the current change order percentage is within reasonable range of our similar projects. We hope this letter addresses the concerns of the water commissioners and selectmen in regards to the water treatment plant. We are working hard for the town of Raleigh on this project to control costs. If you have any other questions, please contact us at 978-532-1900. Signed, the president of the company, John Scipione, and Barbara Cook, vice president. So, I looked at the letter, I think that it serves as a letter that documents our concerns, and I think that they've presented a response to both the selectmen and our concerns. I think that because of our action of putting together a concern letter like this, I think we're going to have a more efficient construction project. I still think the staff here needs to be on top of these things as they come in. And certainly we're practicing sound engineering concern by getting John Hargraves involved. So I think we should pass this up to the selectmen for their comments if they have any, and any further comments on this. And I think that they should be assured that we're on top of this. We've always been on top of it, we're just more on top of it right now. You guys have any comments? Stu?
No, I,
Roy? How about you, Laura?
No.
John? So I think we need a letter to submit, to send this on to the selectmen. You could send that out, John, for their comment if there's any. And, I'll just tell them that the board, I think you feel comfortable with it.
I agree with you. Copy of that letter should go to the board of selectmen.
Okay. All right, update on research of privatization of the water department. Stu, you went to a site visit last Thursday?
Last Thursday, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Bob Snow, and Selectman Dave Peterson, and Debbie Egan, the administrator, went along, and we were all very impressed how efficient they are. I can't say enough good about it.
Mhm.
They're so well organized.
How big was the
They were
plant?
going huge, I believe it was 30,000 residents in Nashua. And that plant went along as smooth as the hands on the clock. And they were not overloaded with help.
How many, how big is it compared to our plant?
Tank after tank. And I'd like to point out one thing. Coming to these meetings last winter, all I heard was in this spring, we need a loader, we need a loader. And a truck, well, we don't, to clean up the lagoon. This new plant's been in operation since, I believe it's '06, and they have not cleaned out the lagoon yet. It's fine, just like coffee grounds. The tanks inside are flushed out, I think every 1,000,000 gallons. And flushed out, goes up the lagoon. But it takes it about an hour from the water coming in to leaving the plant. It's incredible, remarkable. all I could think of in these tanks of concrete. The thousands and thousands of yards of concrete, it's huge.
There's an awful lot of concrete up that hill in Figure Farm, brother. I don't know how many yards it is, but it's a lot of cement.
A dozen roads.
Okay, so you did notice that they have lagoons. How big are the lagoons compared to ours? No?
I didn't go out to the lagoon, I was out in the back there.
Yeah,
But under the building, they have 1,000,000 gallons stored under the building water.
okay.
And they have a large area in the back for reserve, and then they have a tank up on the hill.
So what do we
It
need?
has a 1,600,000 or something like that gallons.
This brings up a question, John. Why do we have a loader for this plant? Why do we want to do it?
You don't need it.
I don't think there was enough money there for it.
Well, we put in for it.
I know.
But you don't need it, you don't have a use for it.
No.
Even if you cleaned out things once every 6 months,
Right.
you couldn't justify the price of the loader and so forth, and this one hasn't been cleaned out since '06, it's a little, it
That's why we
generates.
already went to the highway department talking to them about doing that.
It's just
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
It was brought up quite
It's
a
a
while
question
back.
of how much stuff you have in the water, for one thing. You know, how much you
Well, it depends, you know, what your,
filter out.
yeah,
Then the other issue is what size your lagoon actually is. And then, there's a number that I don't have on the tip of my tongue of how many, I think it was cubic yards would be generated per year
so who provided that?
in Weston Seams.
Okay. So they provided that we're gonna generate so many cubic yards per year?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Some places have higher levels
but
of
how,
organics
yeah,
or
but is it out of the,
manganese.
is there solids that are peeled off the wall membrane? It goes to a pit or something that we have to dispose of, or is it, this wall membrane is backflowed and it pushes out to this lagoon for settling?
I think the backwash goes to the lagoon for settling.
Okay, so then it requires, do we have a pump truck come in and take the water off, so,
Actually, they let them dry.
you know, how can it dry in this environment?
it's like coffee grounds.
So did you see them, their stuff that's dried? They must be generating something stupid.
No, they pump it out of a lake or a river or the
When they-
ground. or-
They have a holding area in the back with a large pond, and there's 1,000,000 gallons up on the hill.
Yeah,
Well, what I'm saying to you, the tanks inside, every 1,000,000 gallons, the tank, this dozens of, I call them tanks, of concrete compartments, open on the top. And when they flush out the tanks, it's like coffee grounds. It goes out to the lagoon. And I'm telling you, this place is absolutely spotless. Cleaner than a hospital, really.
So
Spotless.
where are they actually pumping out of? You know, like we're pumping out of the swamp, what are they actually pumping out of?
They have
They
a
originate from?
large water area in the back.
Yeah, but I mean, is it
Is
is it
surface
some
water?
a lake or a river?
Some, some of it's coming out of the ground too. Just big, the lake in the back there.
yeah.
That's for backup.
So they're not
And the
actually
tanks
pumping
are
out of the
backup.
swamp like what we got then?
Well, you see, our water is pretty damn pure compared to even a surface water. They're all.
But I mean, like Guyville, when we went to Guyville, I mean, they're pumping out of a great big lake,
Yeah, but it's,
you know, and it's altogether different too.
well, it's different, but it's still soft water. You know, you get harder water when you go into the ground. That's more minerals. So the water in the lakes tends to be softer, which has less minerals, but.
This
so-
company is so big. Some just came in that morning. Boxes of water meters with 240. The gentleman said, we get a shipment like that every 2 to 3 weeks. So you talk about buying power when they're using that many meters.
So how many guys do you think they were operating that plant?
Probably 4 to 6.
Yeah,
Come in the lab.
okay, so we got a lab too, so we got a lab.
That was in a different area in the lab,
Okay,
down where they store the trucks, the equipment.
okay, so did you,
I can't say enough about it being organized.
okay. Well, that's pretty impressive, you know. John, did you find out any information about who's got fall membranes and,
I've been working with Weston on that one.
yeah?
I'm still trying to put that information all together for you, on the table you're looking for.
Did you call Paula?
I did call Paul like 2 or 3 times, the sales division, because I figured they could tell me how many they've sold,
Yeah.
and I haven't gotten a reply yet.
Oh, really?
So I asked Weston to talk to their contact when they
We're spending $1 million with this outfit, and they won't even call us back?
Yeah, they're a global international company, and I'm sure they put in hundreds of these things, you know. But Weston has a tie, of course, because they negotiated the purchase of the 2 skids.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm gonna be able to work something through them, and I'll create that.
Well, for the next meeting, we want to know if, you know, they can tell us within a radius of maybe 700 or 800 miles, who's got this system that they just put together.
The puzzle system.
Yeah. And I want to know why they haven't returned the call from us.
Jim.
So do I.
May I ask, when you put together your group to go look at one of these plants?
I'm going to call up Whitewater, and then I'd like to try to get them to come to one of our meetings. And then we can ask them a lot of questions here as a board, so we can, and then maybe we can schedule a site visit with them, one of their plants. And then since you saw this one operate, you should probably go to the next one. For comparison.
I should stay away from the next one. You do that one and take some selectmen with you. We keep out of that quorum that way.
Okay, so we should have
that way
some
they-
consistency with the guys that come there, so it
That-
would be, you know,
That way we can ask questions.
okay,
That's why it was arranged
yeah, okay.
the way it was this time.
So we can do that, so we'll, you know, I'll work on getting them to come to one of our meetings. And then there should be a third one, maybe Roy can, you know, well, Roy's already done some footwork, we already got a few outfits in here last fall. So I think that those guys we got in here last fall, those companies said that they were too small for them, so they recommended we go into this RH White outfit. So I think that we should get a good flavor for what's going on there. And then, John, if you can find out about this stuff, then we can start looking at numbers, okay?
I firmly believe, when you talk to this White, you need to visit there with your group,
Yep.
because just going through there is worth 1,000 words. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, I bet it is. Okay. So that takes care of that one.
This company I went to has been in business for 160 years.
Okay, so the town common, Havel Street gate valve. What's going on with that?
Wait for the little staff so that we can attack the job.
Okay.
As soon as Glenn gets in next week, we'll start talking about how to approach those 2.
Okay.
You say get 3 gigawatts? You do.
I think it's just one band.
While we're on the common, it would be nice if the water department got some irrigation hooked up for the new trees.
I thought they did away with the irrigation with a couple of faucets, you said.
Because, I believe John said because he didn't have any help.
Yeah. I'd have to talk to
Well, I thought you said you talked again and.
Well, yeah, that was a temporary solution.
So,
Once again, I could,
was there irrigation out there before?
no.
Okay.
That was with Thin Fast, dragging hose around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Well, if any other old business that we,
Yeah, old business. After these meetings, I've heard many times, looping
what?
from I've heard many times looping, from Kittery Avenue to Central Street, going down Fennel, to Fennel Drive. Closing that loop.
That was one of the goals of the, right?
It would be a good loop.
Well, I think we ought to put that on the radar and look at it around budget time.
Yep.
You know, what's the latest with this project that
At least get a.
goes from Interville Circle to Route 1? What's the latest with that?
With what, which project?
They're gonna put a line through Interville, from Interville Circle
From Forest Ridge.
to,
Oh.
so what's going on with that?
I haven't heard any more about it. They came in talking about it quite a while back, and that's happened a couple of times. I think they get some potential clients or whatever, and then it just seems to, it goes quiet again.
You hear anything about
Wasn't it
that?
something to do with conservation or something
Yeah,
back
so
the last
it's,
time?
yeah, I think it's down in the selectmen area right now. We're out of it. We had to withdraw.
Yeah, we
had
had
to
to
withdraw,
rescind something or whatever, and
Which we did, so we're waiting for them to come back.
Sean, any idea what that would cost looping from Fennel Drive there, Kittery Avenue?
I would probably have to take a wheel out and do some footage, just to, most engineering specs are based on per foot installation. It'd be a little less there because it's a dirt road, and there's no pavement or restoration or
wasn't it
details or anything.
a year or two ago, something brought up, something about crossing the bridge or going under that or something that we was talking about?
Yeah, but that's the
That'd be
only
a kind of
obstacle, yeah, you'd have to, probably go on the river back there, where that one bridge is.
Well, we don't have to rush to that right now, do we? Or-
No.
Yeah.
No, but it would be if John measured that out before the next meeting, at least we could put that for planning, try to move forward with it next year or something like that. It's been talked about for years.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking about it since I've been on the board, we've talked about it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
It was a goal that you guys said would make a big difference, and
well, it's such a long dead end.
I believe all these, things should, all these, dead ends should
Cross.
be looped when possible.
Kittery all the way up to Seawood. If there's a problem, you have to shut everything for that whole distance.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a dead end as it is. How do you do a loop up there? I don't understand that.
Well, Fennel comes in like partway up the hill.
Maybe you're going up Mansion Drive, you're going out Fennel here, and Fennel, if they stop down here, you're gonna bring them together. So it's
Okay.
gonna be looped.
So this main that feeds Mansion
Right,
comes from Main Street?
Kittery Avenue.
Okay, it comes from Kent.
Here's Kittery Avenue, from down here, go up. Before they,
Intersection of Kittery and Cross.
yeah, before they put up the new tank, they used to just in from Cary Avenue, there was a pump here.
Right.
So they get some pressure up the top of the hill. That way they put in the new tank, they didn't, you correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't need this, right?
Right.
They took it out.
Took it
That was right down there by the gate going into the field, correct? The-
What's that?
No, just as you're around the bend going up by the two pillars.
Oh.
Right,
What's the
just
pressure?
as you were turning left, right there.
The top,
Yeah.
I think it's like 50 or 60.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, so I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?